For anyone following the price of Bitcoin these days, and let's be real, who isn't, it's impossible to ignore as it's been dominating headlines everywhere. In any case, you're likely also aware that the price of Bitcoin abruptly fell by over 10% in just 3 hours today, January 10th, 2020, to US $35,000. This is after it has more than doubled in value over the last month and has experienced over 30% gains in just 2021 so far. Understandably, some Bitcoin investors want to realize those gains now as the price is at an all-time high. But many investors who haven't bought in yet are waiting for corrections so they can buy the dip at a cheaper price. Of course, it's impossible to predict the next crash, but we can use certain indicators to determine whether a dip is likely. For example, when Bitcoin madness sweeps everyone into the conversation, from your family to the Uber driver to celebrities tweeting to buy in, it's likely we may be heading toward or already in a bubble. Some traders have identified the madness of celebrities endorsing crypto in the media as a possible sign there could be a crash coming. This is because high volumes of celebrity endorsements have previously marked the top of Bitcoin in past bull cycles. This is just one of the indicators that can be used as a way to gauge the market sentiment. A crypto trader by the pseudonym Loma has the following observation, quote, "It's not necessarily bullish or bearish in terms of technicals. I don't expect price to crash tomorrow just because Katy Perry has crypto nails or YouTuber KSI tweets about Ethereum. I just like using them as a gauge for where we are in the cycle. I'm sure it brings in a lot of new buyers and attention, but I always find myself asking, okay, well, if we get a fuck ton of exposure through celebrities, institutions are buying or have bought. Traders are most likely in. That sounds like a lot of buyers that have already bought," end quote. So let's take a look at which celebrities are backers of Bitcoin. Some of these may not be very surprising because they are early adopters from the very beginning, but there are some interesting and surprising newcomers who have changed their tune or have jumped on the crypto Bitcoin bandwagon more recently. Rapper Meek Mill has some sage investment advice for his followers, tweeting, "I need everybody that rock with me to learn about stocks and cryptocurrency. ASAP." Kanye West. Ah yes, the wild card. So appearing on the Joe Rogan podcast, West has said he thinks geniuses in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency community have a perspective on, quote, "the true liberation of America and humanity," end quote. He goes on to say, "These guys really have a perspective on what the true liberation of America and humanity will be. A lot of the tech guys, but specifically Bitcoin guys, were able to use the new highways, the new information highways, and create the next frontier of our existence, while the powers of our political systems are still anchoring on the Electoral College." I did say wild card. Snoop Dogg. Talk about being ahead of his time. In 2013, Snoop Dogg actually accepted Bitcoin as payment for his album on iTunes. Although it's not known how many albums he ultimately sold, Snoop Dogg was selling them at 0.3 Bitcoin. Based on Bitcoin value as of today, which is $35,000 US, that would be over $10,000 an album. Elon Musk. Elon Musk admits he's open to getting paid in Bitcoin, and getting paid he is. Musk recently surpassed Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos as richest man on earth just a few days ago on January 7th with a whopping net worth of $185 billion US. If Elon is embracing crypto and Bitcoin, it's worth consideration to say the least. Akon, known for his chart-topping hits, has bigger visions nowadays as a philanthropist and entrepreneur. Akon has returned to his roots in Africa to create an African crypto-powered city. His Lighting Africa initiative has helped provide solar power energy to 28 countries on the continent, and he's also become a proponent for the use of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. He's launched Akon, which is a cryptocurrency powered by a marketplace of tools and services to fuel the dreams of entrepreneurs, business owners, and social activists. Akon helps them connect and engage across the rising economies of Africa and beyond, created by visionary global artist, changemaker, innovator, and humanitarian, Akon. Akon goes on to say, our belief is that blockchain tools and services will be one of the key things that will help Africa to rise in the coming decades. That the things that people can access through this technology have the ability to affect permanent and monumental change. Bill Gates. As he put it himself, Quote, "Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it can be," he explained in an interview with Bloomberg in 2014. Bitcoin is better than currency in that you don't have to be physically in the same place, and of course, for large transactions, currency can get pretty inconvenient. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss. The Winklevoss twins are probably the most famous of early adopters. They parlayed the millions they earned after settling their Facebook lawsuit into cryptocurrencies and became the first billionaires from a late 2017 surge in Bitcoin prices. They claim to own approximately 1% of all Bitcoins in circulation and have devised an elaborate system to store their private key for their assets. Ashton Kutcher. Not only is Ashton Kutcher a strong advocate of Bitcoin, but he even has his own investment firm, A-Grade, which he founded in 2010. So in addition to founding his own investment firm, Ashton Kutcher has invested in Unicoin Gold along with billionaire Mark Cuban. Kutcher's investment portfolio is worth paying attention to, judging by his past success, as his investment picks in the past include Uber and Airbnb. Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter and Square. Dorsey said Bitcoin and its underlying decentralized blockchain technology are the future of Twitter and has since added Bitcoin to Square's treasury. Dorsey has repeatedly endorsed Bitcoin over recent years, going as far as to claim Bitcoin has the potential to become the world's sole currency by 2030. Quote, "The world ultimately will have a single currency. The internet will have a single currency. I personally believe that it will be Bitcoin," end quote. So in summary, while we may be heading for or already experiencing a price correction, and it might be an opportune time for averaging down, the reality is the risk and skill required for timing the crash and buying back into the rebound is likely irrelevant for the long-term investor and Bitcoin supporter. So if that's you, then you already know the long-term buy and hold strategy is what ultimately matters. One of the long-term advantages of Bitcoin is its value as a monetary safe haven, with many Bitcoin and cryptocurrency supporters voicing concerns that the massive government stimulus and quantitative easing unleashed by the Federal Reserve will weaken the US dollar and economy. Now, additionally, Bitcoin is earning itself a stronger foothold in the traditional spheres of banking on Wall Street. For little perspective and long-term outlook, JP Morgan's Global Market Strategy team has recently put a long-term theoretical price target on Bitcoin of $146,000 USD. This is assuming Bitcoin's volatility converges to that of gold. FOMO. Whether you are pro-Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general or don't believe the hype, you shouldn't hesitate to admit the fear of missing out has you paying attention. Any way you look at it, Bitcoin is becoming harder to ignore. I leave you with this food for thought on why even skeptics should be investing in Bitcoin. This is via Lionel Laurent and Mark Gilbert in Bloomberg. Quote, "Bitcoin is the perfect vehicle for exploiting mankind's infinite stupidity," says Julian Rimmer, a sales trader in Investic. "A small percentage of one's portfolio must be held in this asset because gullibility never goes out of fashion," end quote. Happy speculating, or